Hi there, Facebook land. Are we late?
We are 2 minutes maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Sorry, I was copying and pasting. I wanted to make sure that I had we want to give topics before we start going on live. And tonight we're discussing
we're discussing embracing personas and personal space.
Thank you. Yeah, so tonight we wanted to discuss embracing personas and personal space. And discuss why we do that and how that actually kind of fits in so nicely with our own ticks as people and who we are. Let's not do that. The table. Let's not touch the table. Just because the tripod's on. Sorry. Lars is here. Thank you, Lars. Let's see who else is here.
So far, no one. But that's okay.
So far, no one. That's okay. That's completely fine. No, it is absolutely completely fine. We understand everybody has absolute lives to get to, and they've got all sorts of things that they have to deal with. So,
plus we just got started, and we just got 2 people on.
Yeah.
So hello.
Hi everybody. I hope everybody's having a great night. We're going to discuss tonight a little bit about why we embrace personas, and then also personal space.
It's fun.
It is fun, and I think that's one of the main reasons. I guess we could just kind of jump right into it. Personas. What are they? Let's define them before we
start. You're starting to see an inkling of it now.
There's one. That's a persona.
Yeah.
She was just passing by.
The cat.
It was a fly-by-night kind of persona. Didn't stick. The cat walked by for anybody who's not watching, and she was gone as soon as she came. So,
well, let me ask you this. Have you ever kind of wanted to be a voice actor, or just talk to yourself in a little funny accent just to be goofy or whatever? And it's kind of like that range of doing things. And that's what I like to do.
Personas basically are like masks so for me personally, I am used to doing personas quite a bit. Quite frankly, I'm quite happy not to do a persona ever again, because I feel like I've been doing them all of my life. I think and I think that so many of us do. We play roles, and it can be kind of a bit much. I think. Hi, Dawn. Dawn's here. But they work really well for you. And persona basically is we either will take on the character of say a popular cartoon show that we watch together, or just a popular TV show character, to express ourselves using that character's words, because they have crafted that very nicely, and we can then apply it to any given the situation that we're in and be instantly understood as far as our emotional context is concerned based on other characters' lines.
We watch a lot of cartoons, and we watch the same cartoons together, and have basically memorized the episodes.
I think that's pretty much for any family, though.
It is. Everyone has their shows and
Yeah.
everything, and quotable lines that are understood between people in the family. It's kind of like that. So, by saying a certain line that is applicable to a certain situation, it just brings up all the information we need with a simple little statement.
It works really well for us, because that way, too, we don't necessarily have to overthink about what we're saying, or I don't have to be... It takes... I think it also takes it depersonalizes things, so we don't take things as personally, and we don't, it's a lot harder to hurt somebody's feelings that way, I guess, if you're being Lur from... the planet Omicron Persei 8.
Ruler of the planet Omicron Persei 8. I do voices.
I'm over here now. That's
Futurama.
That's Unda from Futurama.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that, which I find is actually really, really good fun. Dawn says our show is Roseanne. Awesome. That's nice. Fantastic. Yes,
Roseanne. I used to watch that a lot back in the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
It's a good. I love that show. Yes. Married with Children.
Oh yeah.
Back when the dial was only to okay, so back in the day before TVs were what they are now, you had the dial that turned to channel 32, because that's how old we are, and phones stayed on the wall.
Yep.
So that was the first renegade TV show, which was just great. And it was, you know, Al Bundy building a boat in the basement. In any case, back to personas and why we use them. Basically because they're well-developed characters. They're able to say things and bridge gaps in other ways where we might fail or we might misspeak.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that when you use personas like, for instance, Lorenzo.
Now, Lorenzo isn't a cartoon character. I actually made that guy up. With help from Morgan here. We kind of developed him and crafted him over time. But Lorenzo, 2 equals Igwe. He's citizen of the world. Mm-hmm. He's not a persona that I take on from time to time.
It's most of the time.
He's a wise man. A wise man who has seen much of the world. He's been out to many adventures. And now he will share his wisdom with you all.
Lorenzo also has quirks that I can use. For instance, he's a very fancy man who likes to take very good care of himself. So if he leaves the bathroom a mess from trimming his beard, common, big, probably not a good idea. Instead of getting upset, I can address Lorenzo.
Lorenzo must maintain a perfect beard in order to be himself.
It works out really well, actually, because then instead of getting upset with him, I'm able to then depersonalize the situation and say, Lorenzo, a beard as fine as yours needs a palace, really, to be crafted in. And no mirror should have any spots on it at any time, for it is a disgrace to such a beard.
Oh.
Disgrace to such a beard.
Oh. The lustriousness of my beard compels me to comply.
Mm-hmm. Clean bathroom. Every time.
It's fun that way.
It is fun that way, and also it's a win-win.
But here's the thing: when you let's say you're having a fight, and we'll call it a fight. Say you're having a disagreement.
We also have intensity issues too, because things can get pretty intense.
If you have a little rule between you that you can stick to that says you have to speak in a funny accent if you were having a fight.
That's our rule anyway.
Like
I'm just saying this is just
if it's a disagreement, it must be resolved while doing an accent.
I will tell you this. It is not easy at all to be in that kind of moment and to be able to do that sort of thing. It takes a lot of wherewithal, but if I know if I can just kind of take a step back and breathe beforehand, I can address it, and it works. It's actually pretty fun for us.
It is.
I think it brings us together a little. It makes us more creative as a couple, and it is fun to make personas.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
Personally, I love it. It definitely depersonalizes things, and it's a lot easier to take problems when you are just a character to play.
And also, from my perspective, like because I have ADHD, well, because I'm really or a guy, probably I'm just stubborn, but it often feels as if I'm being attacked in certain situations a little bit more sensitively than I need to be in a certain situation.
I can be really intense.
And at the same time, the intensity level there is pretty high. However, if I'm like, you know what? This is not how Lorenzo conducts himself. You know, if I can really get into that mindset, I am Lorenzo. You know, he's a serious man.
He is a serious man, and he's a fancy man. He only wants the best.
Yes, a warrior who protects his family at all times.
Against the beard hairs.
But if I get myself into that persona, and I'm also on the receiving end of some kindly advice from my beautiful wife, then it's a lot easier to palate. You know, I can.
Well, okay, so what we're doing there, though, the reason why this works so effectively is that I'm creating a positive emotional response by using Lorenzo. Mm-hmm. And by using Lorenzo, who would never do such a thing to harm a fly, but is only the fanciest man who opens up peanut butter jars with many a flary twist.
Very powerful wrist.
Mm-hmm. It is, yes.
Comes from my father's line.
It's really hard to be upset with that. But if we didn't have that, we have had many an issue before coming up with the persona and how to address the persona.
Yes.
You deal with it with regality.
Would you like to give us a sample of your favorite persona?
You just want to hear it. Does anybody want to hear my persona? She's Esmeralda. I've got a couple. I've got Esmeralda. I have Crystal, and I have Kendra.
Crystal Crinklesack.
Kind of.
Sort of.
It is true. And I'm not seeing any comments. I have to say, Facebook doesn't always show us the comments. And we've been running into some serious problems with that lately. So I want to see if we have anything.
Sometimes if you refresh the page.
I've been trying to. Laura says, came in here to say hi and bye. Family's been waiting for the dinner table. Hi, bye, Lorna.
Yep.
Go eat dinner for sure. Watch this on the replay if you can. Okay, so my persona that I'm developing in basically just in direct response to Lorenzo is Esmeralda, and she is the
how would you describe her?
She is. I love Esmeralda. Esmeralda is like
serious,
the gypsy,
proper,
but she's like from the strong line of like women that
think
basically.
Darling. A little bit of that.
Sometimes it's hard for me to get into them. Let me see. It'll be easy this time. Haha, set the intention. It'll be easy this time. Let's see. Esmeralda. She would say things like, the beard needs. Yeah. How do you say? Not more borscht, but it needs some oomph. It is a disgrace that the mirror has spots.
It is the oil of the beard being flicked off as I wave it about. Beard oil.
My babushka would have a feet.
Babushka.
Not stand for it. And so, but it's kind of fun. We can play with each other like that. And we actually resolve our issues like that.
It's fun. I recommend that people argue in funny accents, because then you won't argue anymore.
You really kind of don't.
You can't.
And you can address things a little bit better as long as you don't take it too personally.
Yeah.
And it takes practice. It definitely takes some getting used to. I typically just save my personas for when I need you to do something.
Because you know I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you use your Esmeralda voice and if you call me by my
because
proper
it's a
name,
positive
Lorenzo,
emotion that anchors to the thing. So, it turns out to be a win-win.
Yeah.
Yes. Lorena says, love you guys. Have a great night. Kim's here. My son Bentley says hi. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, there's some more. There's Hap. Hello. Hi, Hap. How are you? We're so glad you guys are here. I just wanted to make sure because we don't always get to see the comments, and I really want to make sure that I see them because I know it's so important. I don't want anybody to ever feel like I'm ignoring you guys because I promise you everything that we can see on the screen we always read. For whatever reason, it doesn't always show.
It's like they could have an automatic filter on there or something.
They do.
And we got to refresh and go back into it and make sure no new comments came up.
Well, I just want to make sure that I get all of them.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Yeah, so that's what I think personas really do help us personally. I like them. They're just fun to come up with. And who doesn't love doing funny voices? Honestly, I think it's the best way we handle our problems.
There's all kinds of voices I use too.
There really are. He's very good at being creepy.
Yes, I can be very creepy.
He does it a lot. And usually it's when he's making food. And it's not okay
I'm
then.
a very tactile person.
It's fine. You're not there really that bad. You're really good at it. He's really good at it. I'm still trying to get all of the public domain books up for you so you can start doing some reading because your voice skills are impressive, sir.
I like it.
I do too.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I keep telling you we'll get sued for that one.
No, you know.
Sued.
It's just the name of a character.
I'm just saying. Don't do it.
J.K. Rowling will come for us.
I don't know, man. She's
don't say she who must not be named.
No. It's not that. It's just that I've seen some of her tweets. She can hold her own.
Oh,
she's good at it.
She's fun.
She's very good at it, and I could say good for her for absolute certainty. I think the other thing we were going to talk actually about today was personal space.
Yeah. We both need it. I'm an introvert.
Personal space is the key.
Even though I'm a goofy, happy, whatever kind of guy, I cannot maintain long periods of social contact before I start to want to kill myself and everyone around me. So
Don't say.
very,
very
before I
frustrating.
become exhausted.
Become very frustrated and exhausted.
And wish to become replenished with energy. And
either that or spending many hours with me because I never stop talking. Have you noticed?
yes. But it's so nice.
I need many hours to talk to myself and to figure out my problems. That's how I honestly figure out my best problems is I sit there and I talk to myself and I answer my own questions.
Yeah.
I think it's personally, I personally find it very, very cathartic and the best way for me to figure out my stuff. To be quite frank.
Yeah. But having that personal space is important. I mean, even really, especially people who, you're in the same house with everyone all day. You love each other, but you need breaks.
You do. I just want to say hi to Maya. Hi, Maya. I love how real you both are. You're amazing. Thank you so much. So Kim says, sorry we can't stay longer. I have to get my babies to bed. Good night, guys. Have a great night. I just want to make sure that we're catching up on comments. So, yes. And what was the last thing you just said there? I apologize. Personal space.
I have no idea what I just said because I have ADHD and I cannot remember what I just said.
That's setting up for not success. Whoa, Patrick.
My dog shook you. Yeah, that's my dog. Shaking you.
Again.
Not an earthquake.
Not an earthquake.
Not an earthquake. No, even when you're married and you're living with each other, you still need personal space.
I always say I want a house big enough I don't have to see the people that I love. Because
Separate
I do
seats.
really love you guys very much. I think that we also need time as humans just to kind of get our thoughts together and be able to have that time to decompress and be very good at, be very comfortable with it.
Yes.
Because I know that I need sufficient time to get all of my best thoughts out and all of my best everything's out.
Also, we just installed a heavy bag in the basement.
We did!
So we can also,
Sorry.
release some energy that way. Sorry, we're backing the table up away
It's
from
just
the
that
dog.
Patrick knows every single time that whenever we go live and decides then to kick the table repeatedly and to become a menace.
The time has come for him to destroy equipment, so he's working hard towards that end.
But it's just so adorable while doing it.
Yeah. But
He really is adorable when he does it.
yeah, I know. That's why you can't be mad at him.
It's very hard. It's difficult to be mad at him. It is difficult not to just watch him in awe as he does things, to be honest.
Then shake your head slowly and sadly.
Maya says we do need personal space. I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's so essential. I think it's honestly, I need at least, how much do you think I need like 2 hours a day just by myself?
Oh, yeah, I would say 2 hours.
I would say easily 2 hours a day by myself. I'm just going to take all the bones off the table.
Yeah.
Because he's just being ridiculous.
Probably hear some chewing in a sec, but that's background
All
noise.
those thumps was me taking all the bones off the table. It's like having, okay, so seriously, my life is nothing to basically sum up my existence in my life at any restaurant table or otherwise situation in which things should be maintained is basically the same situation you would find yourself in with a toddler. That's just basically how, but there's no toddlers around anywhere. It's just, that's basically how I am everywhere I go between pets and husbands and all sorts of things. I'm basically Kari at the end of the first Incredibles.
That's the babysitter.
The babysitter at the first Incredibles, where it's just like, bing! Like, you get used to it after a while.
Baby's just bursting on fire, destroying everything, and she's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's my life.
It's jaded.
Only with adults and pets. It is true.
Yeah.
It is absolutely true. So I do need time to be able to relax and get my wherewithal back, put my pieces back together, so that I can properly handle the day.
Indeed.
Maya says you're a four-legged mom. Yes, I am. Absolutely. I want to ask, how does everybody else, do you have good tactics that you use? Is there any questions can we clarify anything? The reason why we wanted to go through personas and personal spaces is because we found that these two things tend to be pretty big keys in our relationship and how we get along with one another. We found them to be extremely effective in dealing with the stress of, well, I don't want to say necessarily the stress of being married. But I don't think anybody who's married wouldn't say that. Because there is.
Safety
there is.
Just stare straight ahead, sir. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it is work.
Yep.
And relationships are work. Mm-hmm. That's what they are. I mean, isn't that, I think it's wonderful. Personally, I love being married to you. It is one of the best, it is beyond the best adventure I've ever had in my life. It does consistently keep me on my toes, keeps my wits sharp about me, and I'm constantly learning to
It is an adventure.
New things about me.
Every good adventure has twists and turns.
Lots of them.
You don't see.
Mm-hmm. It's literally a call to adventure.
Yay.
No, I'm kidding. But it is fun. It can be very fun. And this is kind of the ways that we keep it fun.
Yeah.
Egan says hi. Hi, Egan. Julia says, I'm so glad you're able to get your pieces back together. Thank you, Julia. It is really hard. That's one thing I do struggle with. And I don't know if it's necessarily like an autism thing or whatnot, but I oftentimes feel like my brain works in such a way that whatever is happening, be it on like the TV screen or just even in conversation, if it's not happening right then and there, my brain kind of thinks that it is. And it will respond with the same intensity as though the thing is happening right then and there. So keeping myself together and to realize that the thing that we're talking about isn't actually going to be magically here in the next 3 seconds can sometimes be a little much for me to understand. Just because of how I operate. Some of these modalities, by using like things like personas and personal space and being able to kind of come back down to center and put my pieces back together, brings me really to now, because I find that, again, if like for instance, my stepdaughter was talking about a goldfish that she wanted to get. Instantaneously, my brain takes over. This is just me. This is just how I operate. Takes over and has calculated 7,000 different ways on why we are either A, getting a fish, B, not getting a fish. It's casting votes for both sides. Thinks the fish is going to be here in the next half hour, possibly deliverable by Amazon within a full aquarium like setup. It's going to be a saltwater tank of which I'm going to have to now do a bazillion different things with. And she's just showing me a picture on the internet. And I promise you, all of those thoughts are going through my mind. And they are, because I'm very well aware of them. And so I'm reacting with such an intent. My body then starts producing these chemicals thinking that the fish is going to get here in 30 seconds. And my job then is to be able to pause myself in those moments and take myself out of it and look at it in the big picture and saying, this isn't actually happening right now. I'm just dealing with my my intense brain releasing all the chemicals thinking that fish is going to get here now in the next half hour. For me personally, we use things like personas, personal space, and getting my parts back together so that I realize when I am, just because of, I've noticed this is just how I react in conversation. And just some of the modalities that we use to make it kind of normal. Because it is normal. It's just different. It's just different. So I'm so glad that you said something. Kira says, truth, thank you so much. Kira, you're amazing. We love coming on live, and I'm hoping that this really helps some people understand kind of, I know everybody with autism and ADHD and every person everywhere is different. I understand that. I'm hoping that by kind of sharing a little bit about what we do on our side and how we experience it, between Lars and I, it'll help kind of either give voice to some of the feelings that some people are feeling, and maybe help other people recognize if they're moving too fast in certain situations or having meltdowns or triggers, that where they might be stemming from. If it doesn't help or if it doesn't serve, by all means leave it. This is just simply my perspective and how I personally experience life with autism with my ADHD husband, and the tips, tricks, tools, and other experiences that we use to kind of help navigate through life. And I like to share those things just to make sure that in case it helps anybody. So I really appreciate when people come on and watch, and I hope that it does help. I really honestly do, because I know that for me to figure out these things is kind of a process, and I can't imagine, I would really like to just, I think if I could watch somebody who is like me and understand and who could explain the things that I might be going through, it might be easier for me to then be able to talk about it. So I'm going to just keep trying and keep practicing until I kind of get to that point, if that makes any amount of sense. That's my hope anyway. That's my intention. I hope it's a good one. I hope it's the right one to do. I'm not quite sure. I'm just doing what I think is best. Julie says, my mind whirls too. Oh, see, there's all sorts of comments here. Okay, I'll explain something in a second. Maya says, wow, you give me so much insight on how individual we are. This helps me understand my grandson better. Thank you. Becky Siegel, hi, I think you're awesome and you've opened my eyes to the world of autism. Thank you. Thank you, Becky. Thank you so much for saying so. Kira Clement says, it does help, Morgan. Y'all are doing awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Julia says, I like seeing the options you use for coping. It helps me with my autistic granddaughters. Thank you, Julia. That's exactly why. I actually get a lot of ideas from parents who are like, you know, my child does this, my child does that. And it's like, oh, I try it. I absolutely try it. I get more ideas from kids than I do any adult. No offense, adults. But honestly, kids, like, I ask kids for advice. I always think that they have, like, the most updated manual. Because, okay, well, think about it this way. Like, when you were a kid, did you not know everything your parents knew? Right? I did. Or it was real easy to pick up on. I never understood why they were talking to me the way they were. I'm like, I clearly am old enough to understand every single word you're saying, so... what do you mean I'm not old enough to understand? I clearly understand you. So, you know, I always ask kids for advice because I'm like, they're the ones with all the ideas. Like the best ideas, right? Ryan's here. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Ryan. Ryan's like, Maya says, we learn from each other all the time. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. If there's anything I can do to help, by all means, I would love to. Ryan says, I am fashionably late as usual. You're right on time. Becky says, I feel like every word you say is so genuine and deeply real, so authentic with the world needs more like you. Thank you. That is so nice to hear. Thank you, Becky. I really appreciate that. I know it was hard for me growing up, and I didn't really get the help that I needed, and I wasn't really in a situation where they could have really, I don't know. I was kind of adopted and kind of like a little adopted. When I say that they really had no invested interest in me, I really mean they had no invested interest in me. So, but it was still warranted enough. My behavior was still disturbing enough to get diagnosed in the early 80s by people who literally didn't have much vested interest. So, to turn out and to get as far as we have in life, I think I'm pretty proud, and I would like to help others, you know, along the way. And honestly, the kids are helping me so much. I'm like, I totally have to fidget with things now.
Kids are great teachers.
I'm telling you.
The best.
I ask them for advice. He sees me do it all the time. I love your kids. They're great.
Yeah.
They're super great. Egan says, my 4-year-old isn't verbal, and I always wonder what he's thinking. That's interesting. It'll be interesting to find out. I'm always interested to see how everybody's journey goes, and I know that I don't know a lot about everything in this. I mean, I know the most about coming from my experience. Let's say that. I'm trying to find something here. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say? I'm not quite sure.
I guess my primary message for tonight would be just to have fun with stuff. Because it's just too short to take too seriously all the time.
That may be true. However, I honestly wonder how you're alive.
I mean, I've been okay.
Somehow. Because you have done not safe things in this world. And I don't know how. Because I feel like a lot of times that I am, again...
You put trust in your own skill.
Mm-hmm.
You choose a direction, give yourself momentum, and then you jump. And you hope.
That sounds horrifying. You plan.
Grab hold of the next foot.
Mm-hmm. No, you are right. There is a lot of that leap in the net will appear stuff, and I think it's because we learn how to fly. But it is scary.
Yes.
But it usually turns out to be a lot better than what we imagine it to be. So, Melissa says the more you know, and she gave the rainbow and the star. Thank you. Melissa. Hillary Sharp. Hi, Morgan and Lars. How was your day, guys? It makes me smile so much to see and visit with you guys. Hi, Hillary. It makes us smile and happy to see you, too. It was a great day.
Yeah.
We got up on time. I was able to get through my morning routine of efficient. There's a dog now. It's in my armpit. I was able to get through my morning routine back on track. I always feel like there's not enough hours in the day, but that's a me thing.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. Tell you what, though, I got some good stuff done. I got a nice space cleared and organized and ready to go for starting to do some
other
photography
work
and whatnot. So we're gonna
be working on some serious projects and getting some stuff up and running for.
What we want to get is prints up and running.
Yes.
We want to get
prints, posters, everything that we can to you guys for imaging.
Because right now there's a lot of finished pieces that are not on the website yet, so we have to basically just get a whole bunch up there. So
yeah,
a lot to do. It's all good.
Kira says taking risks can sometimes be scary, but I think with proper planning, it can sometimes make it easier. I agree 100%. So much. Having clarity is absolute key. I think that so one of my main pulls is that I read a lot of psychology books, a ton. And one thing that psychology books have taught me is that what we think about most or what we believe most happens. We design our own circumstances, and at least we can take responsibility for it, so that we can come from a place of higher power and understanding and deal with everything that we have around us, as long as we take responsibility for it. I found it to be true and accurate. So, and to really notice my own habits, I think is really, it's such an ongoing process. And I think when you know yourself, those risks do get minimized because you do know yourself so well. And I think part of the planning and the risk, the planning of it is to understand how you work and putting your own safety nets in place, because I know I need a lot.
Yeah.
I need a lot.
It's really only recently where I started to understand what knowing yourself really means.
Mm-hmm. How we organize ourselves, how we organize our thoughts, how we organize our information.
How we make decisions.
How you make decisions. Oh, that's a huge one. If you can figure out how you make decisions and realize it's all emotional.
Yeah.
And your own patterns and mastering your own self, then it's life. Because I find, for me personally, life got a lot. It's getting easier all the time that way.
Well. No, I agree.
And it makes it easier to come from then the places of, say, personas, where we can step outside of ourselves and be, the Shakespearean actor in a play, and use, our fun personas to take a look at the large picture and maybe not take things so seriously. Because I don't know, does anybody here believe that I can melt down? I want to see if that's a thing that people believe that I do, or have I fooled everybody into thinking that I'm calm, cool, and collected?
Well, you are actually calm, cool, and collected, truly, most of the time. That is all I have to say. That's all I have to say on this episode.
Let's see.
I sit back.
Good point, says Kira. Kira, I love you so much. You are absolutely right about taking risks can be scary. That's how I know you've got, seriously, you got guts, honey. I like that about you a lot. You're so right. Megan Baker, I'm dealing with this now. How do you stay so positive when there's uncertainty? I'm so full of anxiety, and I'm a creature of habit. You just answered your own question. Exactly right there. Is it Megan or Megan? Megan, I will tell you, it is practice. One thing that I make sure that I do, I'm on day 101 of meditation in a row. Some key things that I hit every single day to reset, my I'm sorry, my dog's licking, and I don't know if everybody can hear that, but if it bothers me at 2 a.m., it's gotta bother everybody else too right now. Patrick, stop licking.
He's
Goodness! They always pick the most inopportune time. Anyway.
So lower your head in shame.
It's okay, son. You can wait until we're asleep.
He sighed.
But seriously.
Anyway.
It's creating a habit of is basically what we do. So my morning routine consists of things like I meditate. I exercise. I absolutely must exercise every day to kind of release those endorphins and get the stress out. Be it cardio, usually cardio. Cardio is going to be very good for, and I know nobody likes cardio. I get it. I completely understand. Yoga. So every day I do yoga, I try to do cardio every day. Yoga, meditation, breathing techniques, drink at least 60 ounces of water a day. Make sure I get my medicine. Like I don't take very much medicine, but like I take the same pills at the same time every day, just so that my body has got this kind of routine and this habit. And then as it goes along, it incrementally gets a little bit better and a little bit easier. You have to practice. And I know it sounds kind of funny, but like, and this is something that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. You really have to practice being happy and noticing when you're in stress to then slow down, and the response to the stress being then taking the time out. We found, and in the beginning, especially with us, in times of high stress, annoyingly so, and I'm not saying this is easy, it took us a long time to really practice this through, and we don't always get it right, but to actually practice what we want to do and practice the positivity, and stopping ourselves in those moments and really celebrating it then afterwards and saying, hey, listen, I know that we might have missed a mark here and there, but good for you. You held your own. You kept your cool. Thank you for keeping your cool. And then you kind of build on it, and they're just small little wins, and you just keep practicing, and just incrementally, just little by little, just gets a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's how we found it to work in any case, and
and really programming. Like telling yourself the same things over and over and over again.
Self-talk is so important.
And I mean, like, really believing something. So, if
Talk nicely to yourself.
Yeah. Like, let's say, I don't know, what's a good thing to be afraid of? That's a common thing to be afraid of. Like, I'm afraid my boss is going to yell at me today, right? And let's say you frequently get yelled at, and you're like, okay, I'm certain he's going to yell at me again today like he does every day. It's probably going to happen if you think that way, But if you tell yourself over and over again, if you start to really get in the mindset of, today's going to be a great day, and I'm not going to get yelled at all. At first, when you first start saying that, you're going to feel pretty wooden. Like, I don't really believe the words I'm saying, but I'm saying them anyway, and it makes me angry to say. But if you keep doing it, your brain really does start to hear yourself talk, and it starts to believe it after a while. And after a little while, after it starts to believe it, your attitude starts getting better, and it actually gets better.
Pets help.
Yeah, sure they do.
Egan says one of the keys for me is getting out of my ego when making decisions. Absolutely, it is the ego. You're only taking if we get upset about anything, it's only because we're upset about that part of us that we don't accept. And so if I get upset at Lars, for instance, for forgetting something, it's only because it bothers me that I forget things. And if I didn't identify as a forgetful person, it would never make me upset. And Julia says, yes, you can melt down. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, I can. Maya says, oh, no, we can all melt down. It's how we come back to the surface. It's true.
Yeah, I melt down.
And Megan says, Patrick, hey, baby. He did a little. Hi. Patrick's amazing. Yes, no, I absolutely melt down. And when I melt down, one of the things that helps me the most that we're trying right now is I just start saying things. Because I understand that the right side of my brain doesn't... The way that I understand my personal right side of my brain, I can say that because I can only speak for myself. Everybody, I guess, has a different experience. It is only emotional. And I have noticed that the only time that I speak from my right side, and I usually use I use a lower voice, and it's very... how would you describe it? Because you can tell when I'm talking from my right side.
Well, I can definitely tell when your voice is a lower, different pitch to it. It's like not like raspy, but kind of a smokier sort of.
It's a lower it's like kind of a Laura Prepon from like that '70s show. It gets like lower.
Yeah.
And usually, depending on how low it is too, I think that's an indication on how visceral the emotion is.
It is interesting because if I notice that, she's speaking in a tone of voice that's more that way, it's identifiable to me because I'm used to it, I can expect a different set of behaviors a lot of time.
Well, I think a lot of times what happens is that, speaking from that side, it's usually just the expression of whatever feeling I am having. So when I melt down now, I actually will start saying things like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I feel like I'm having a panic attack, or I feel like I'm having a chemical reaction. I've got a trick, or something here is triggering me. And I'll keep talking about it, and they'll say, this has to be a clue. This has to be a clue. This has to be a clue. Find the clue. And I kind of walk myself through that way. It may look like kind of, I'm still working on it. It's just as far as practicing it to see if that can help me work out. So far, so good, though, I think. Yeah, because it helps you not take it personally. And I think that's one of the hardest things, is that when I have a meltdown, it's hard for the person that is nearest to me not to realize it has nothing to do with them. Because
it's loud.
Yes, it is often very loud.
And I oftentimes get triggered by loud human noises because
anybody would. We're scary.
Well, yeah, humans are scary to me, anyways.
Primates, I get scared.
So in
yeah, Egan says law of attraction. Megan says yes, consistency. Mia says what we speak, we manifest. Absolutely, we live in a magical fruity land where what we think about most happens. Ryan says I melt down, then I shut down. I do too. I 100% do too. That's why I want to try and get control of these situations so I can find those clues, because every single time that I've been able to walk myself through and find those clues, I usually find just a nugget of gold. There is a hint. And usually the hint has to do with slow down. I'm usually going too fast. But then also there's usually an actual item or some kind of an idea or some kind of creative spark. There's some kind of clue there. And I find that the meltdown is the reaction to a potential win-win situation. Yeah. I find that they're clues. Like, we don't say we have problems, we say we have puzzles, which is why I'm like, I'm not a puzzle piece. I'm just like everybody else. I'm just different. We're all different, right? But if I just thought that I had problems all the time, then I would think that I had problems all the time. If I have puzzles, then I got things to figure out. And that's a little bit different, Like that actually doesn't, it's not hard to take that way. And it's a little easier. As far as, the meltdown, shutdown, I absolutely get that. 100%. And I think a lot of it stems from frustration of not being heard or understood. And it's like, you have to keep, for me personally, I know that I will repeat the same words over and over and over again, and I just get louder with the words because I mean the words that I'm saying.
Yep.
Dictionary.com comes really well in handy for that, as does Google.com. Like, Google and Dictionary.com are the two best ways. And also, this simple phrase of, what does the definition of blah mean to you?
Yeah, a lot of our old arguments that we've had, we realized after the fact, really had only to do with definitions of words and realizing that we were talking about two different things the entire time. Mm-hmm. It's like,
usually opposites. And guess who did not have their definitions wrong? Just saying.
Me.
Oh, that is inaccurate, sir.
That is scary.
Yeah, no, literally, okay, so what you just witnessed there was literally an overload. Did everybody see my mind just go blank and literally wipe out Private Wiring style? Because all of those circuits just lit up at the same time, and I was
my experience with autism comes from being married to an autistic
and he still
person.
touches me without me.
Shouldn't do that.
No.
And I feel that I don't know, what's the best way to say it? I would just say that, it's just best to give you your space during certain times. I think they're clues, and if I can just get to what I'm really trying to get to, like usually if I start at the end, then what is my ultimate goal here? We can usually cut out a lot of guesswork. But it takes time to be able to stop yourself and say, what is the ultimate goal here? What is the win-win? Where is everybody coming from? And it's like, you have to kind of
which is also why the personas come so well into play, is because during those times we can take a step back and say, okay, well, now I'm Esmeralda, or I'm going to do a funny accent, and I no longer take the situation then personally.
Yeah. Because you kind of force yourself to become a different person.
Yes, you do.
You know?
Ryan says, when I'm melting down, I start scrambling information. I struggle to get things out. I don't make sense. And then I just go to my room, which is a safe place. Absolutely. I completely understand that. One thing that I do is walk through doorways or cold. If you start to feel yourself getting out of control, one way to get your parasympathetic nervous system back online is cold water to the face. It'll bring you right back to the present. Egan says, it's really awesome. I can really relate to everything you are saying. I'm in recovery 12-step program. Congratulations, Sarah. Good for you. So I work through a lot of this stuff. Finding triggers is so important. It absolutely is. I couldn't agree more. Megan says, I can relate to the meltdown, shutdown. Mm-hmm. Kira says, I love the reference to the puzzle pieces. Thank you so much, Kira. Yeah, I absolutely meltdown, shutdown, hands over ears. And it's what it is I figured out what was going on necessarily is, see, Maya says we all want to be heard. That's perfect. Thank you so much for saying that. Whenever we speak, I believe that human beings are always, whenever we speak, we're always first and foremost speaking to ourselves. I don't think it has anything to do with the other person, ever. So whatever you talk about, you have to realize you're actually saying to yourself. When you look at it that way, and you start really watching what you're saying, because if anybody, like Tony Robbins, I think said it best, and from like a long time ago, not to be like all self-helpery about it, but like he said that every word is either said in loving kindness or as a cry for help. And that really resonated with me when I really looked at the nuts and bolts of things and what I was actually saying, who I was saying it to, and what people were saying to me. If you realize that everybody's really talking to themselves, and that the world is literally all just mirrors, and we just see ourselves and others, what we like and what we don't like, the world takes on a very different perception. You realize it has nothing to do with you. Nobody's really upset with you. They're upset with themselves, or they're upset with what they think about other things. And the important thing is that I can't control any of that for anybody else. The only human that I can control, barely, is this one. And so it's my job to figure out, what makes me tick? Where do I stand on these issues so that I don't take that out on somebody else, because I wouldn't want to do that. And I honestly just want to be my best me. And if that takes, figuring out all these triggers and nuances, well, these are some of the modalities and some of the things I use to train them. One of them is the HVR rate that I just started today, which is an app that they have, an HVR rate app for, that's actually the blue icon app, that you can use your phones, and I'm sure it's flawed. I'm absolutely sure it's flawed. Uses your phone's like camera and light to kind of check your pulse and see what your variability is, just to keep yourself present. That's another modality that I'm using to help keep myself from flying off the handle and melting down so much. What happens is that I hate to say the reptile brain, because I think that it's being overused so much, kind of takes over, and we kind of shut down on the left side. So, and it's just a normal human thing for most humans, as I understand it. For me personally, being autistic, I think everything's just so much more amplified. Like, is like 33% extra on everything. And so things can really bother me. Ryan says, yes, when people aren't understanding, I get louder and louder, and then I just start crying. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. That's when I realize I'm done. I just need to shut down. Yeah, Ryan, hi, Amy. I think that you're right. And I think that in those situations, that's where dictionary.com comes in. Instead of getting louder, say, hold on a second. I want you to read the definition of this. This is literally what I mean. It's black. Or I'll tell people, what I did, for instance, in the family, with my husband, I said, okay, shut your eyes, close your eyes. Realize that I'm speaking to you as though I'm reading the instruction manual to stereo instructions. Just take it like that. And that kind of really helped out us as far as bridging some of those gaps. Everybody has stuff that's going to work best for them, we just keep trying things and to see what sticks. Melissa says, not to take away from the conversation, but what's on Patrick's side? Oh, Patrick. Patrick has an oral hematoma because we're pretty sure he's got some... Okay, here's the deal. He's got osteoarthritis pretty bad in both knees and has had to have, like, knee surgery and has clearly got some connective tissue problems. And when I first got him, he had shook his head a little too hard and was playing too hard and got an oral hematoma in his one ear that then turns raisins cauliflower ear. And he did it to his other one. So in order to treat it so we don't have a big mess everywhere, it has to be kind of contained. And so I have a hat that I've modified so that the ear stays down, it doesn't move anymore, it doesn't get any worse, it can heal, and he actually has some air, and it's not compressed to where it hurts, because I don't want to tie down the ear, because if you've ever slept on your ear funny, you know that hurts, and I don't want to do that to him. So I have a little contraption here for his head. Patrick, please show everybody. And it consists of a hat that I knitted, and then it has it's a little snugger around the back ears. I don't know if you can see this. So that way it's got movement within the ear part flap. You're so precious. I don't know if you can see that, but he's so precious. And then that way it can heal without causing him any more discomfort because he's been through enough. My poor big baby boy. It's a fairly common injury for dogs, and that won't hopefully ever happen again to his ear. So let's see. Terry, hey, Morgan and Lars, enjoyed the nice discussion. Thank you, Terry. Megan says, wow, eye-opening. Thank you so much. Shirley says, hi, guys. Hey. Melissa says, adorable speedy recovery. Shirley says, what a sweet boy. Thank you so much. I'm really hoping that I'm getting at least some of these comments. I will tell you guys, I'm reading everything that's coming up. So if I'm not seeing your comment or if I haven't read it, I truly apologize. It doesn't always... Facebook doesn't always show us all of the comments. And so if you're commenting and I'm not reading it, please know that I just am not seeing it. I'm reading literally every single one that I see. And for 56 comments, I did not read 56 comments so far. I am so sorry, you guys. Maya says he's got the sweetest face. He does. He really, truly does. You guys are amazing. Seriously. And I didn't know he was licking. I'm sorry. I apologize. Well, I'm glad that some of this kind of helps. And that, if there is anything that I can ever help with, I'm more than happy to answer questions. And also, I'm more than happy and open to suggestions if you're finding other things that work well for you. One of the things that, that's an excited woo. I'm very eager to try is the eye therapy, PTSD, EMDR.
Back and forth?
Yeah. To try and see, I want to be honestly, I take personal development very seriously, and I always want to be the best me that I can be. So I'm always open to suggestions, personally, and what happened, because I don't know what works for, the kids have the best time.
That is true. And we're just a couple of people. Honestly, we definitely don't know everything. So if anyone out there has suggestions for us, we'd like to try some stuff too, and we'll let you know how it works out for us.
Kira says this discussion has been awesome, so much that I am taking notes and tips that you and Lars were addressing. Thank you. Oh my God, that's amazing. Kira, you're amazing. Emma says, you speak quite loudly. I thought autistic people don't like noise, although sometimes of autistic people make loud noises. I'll tell you this.
It's all different with every person.
Mm-hmm. And also, the reason why I'm loud is because I hear everything so loud. To me, this is how everybody talks normally. That's literally, this is how loud, this is how loud you are to me.
Yeah.
Loud. I feel it in my teeth. I'm going to talk as loud as I hear other people. I mean, And I've been told that I am loud.
You project.
I have been told I project.
You project. You fill a room.
Really, I can. Listen, we've had fosters, and we've had deaf dogs. Literally deaf dogs. My voice will wake up a deaf dog. It's been tested.
I've never seen a deaf dog look precisely at the source of noise like you have been able to do.
My voice, it carries.
It's like the vibrations tickle the inside of the skull.
The vibration, it rattles. For whatever reason, my voice will rattle, and it actually you can feel it. So I get that. I don't know, turn down the volume. It's just really how loud I hear everything now.
It sounds really nice to me.
You're so sweet. I really appreciate you.
Like
I'm touching you.
violin.
Oh, look it. I'm touching you. I'm going to tell him how I want to be.
That's my love language.
I'm actually showing you how I would like to be approached. That's not how I would like to be approached. I say, I'm touching you. Thank you.
Physical touch is my love
Right.
language.
See, and he's just like, I go ahead and touch everything that I can. And I'm like, no,
how else will you know how much I love you if I don't hug you right now? Ha That's why.
There's really only one way, and it goes, hi, I'm going to actually caress your shoulder now.
I'm not going to say that. That's weird.
To you, that would be weird. To me, that would be respectful.
May I caress your shoulder?
Not if you say it like that. You must either use the Australian or Lorenzo.
May I caress your shoulder?
Only because I know I could take you in a fight.
I don't think you can.
I don't know. We've never really tested that.
This guy.
But I'm really good at it.
That's my other persona. Jaguar.
Yeah, that's his fun one.
But it cannot match Lorenzo.
Lorenzo
is the
is
master.
special. I love Lorenzo. Lorenzo, because Lorenzo is so eager to please. I think that's the best part about Lorenzo.
Lorenzo always treats you like the queen you are.
You're so sweet.
And he twirls his fancy mustache.
It is fancy mustache. Emma says, understood, fair enough. No, absolutely. And again, everybody is different. I am absolutely very loud. Maya says it's your energy. It's truly a gift. Thank you, Maya.
Yeah,
I will say that there is something with my voice that has always been there. Like, I could literally yell over acreage, and just... Like, if I had a superpower, I would be the Banshee. And I hate to admit that because it's incredibly loud, but I would actually be like some kind of sonic banshee easily.
Yeah. Yeah, as loud as you are definitely very sound sensitive though, but that
makes
sense.
Because everything is so loud to me. Like, I literally feel sounds. Like, it's... It sounds like Puss in Boots, says Melissa.
Yeah,
yes.
Puss in Boots.
Yes. It really does.
There's definitely some Antonio Banderas in there.
There is. And my great-grandfather...
Oh, yeah.
He looks like Banderas with tiny hands.
Tiny hands.
Tiny hands. We have to find that picture somewhere because he literally looks like... My great-grandfather looks seriously like Antonio Banderas with tiny hands. It's so magnificent.
It is magnificent.
Laura says, you two have siblings? I only have a twin sister. You have a twin?
I've got one biological brother and 2 adopted brothers. So a total of 3 brothers. I'm the oldest.
I don't have an easy answer for this.
No, she doesn't. That's why I got mine out of the way. Because I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sit back so you can go ahead and explain.
One of the things about me is my family tree kind of does and does not branch at the same time. It's a little weird.
Rankin, Mississippi.
I'm from a place called Rankin, Mississippi. That's where I was born. Actually, Flowood. I am the only offspring between my mother and father. Yes. That checks out. I have... shoot. 5 half siblings. I think that's what I counted. I don't know, really. 5 half siblings on my mom's side. I think she had like 5 kids. I have 1 half brother on my dad's side, my father's side. And then I was kind of adopted in the family-ish, sort of, and I was raised as a sibling to some of my cousins. So out of there is 9 total. So if we really add up all the people that I could potentially call my brother and sister and have it be somewhat accurate and not cause fistfights, it would be, let's see, 5, 9, 15. No, that's 14. 15. I think at least 15 brothers and sisters.
Unfortunately, I don't get in trouble for not knowing their names.
I don't know their names. I know most of them. But it wasn't like listen. I wasn't exactly taught family things. Like I didn't pick up on things. It was to say the very least. Like it was a very tumultuous upbringing, and you usually need a whiteboard, several pieces of chess players, clearly marked and identified by character references that you can look up on a smartphone to understand how everybody kind of fits together.
Color-coded.
Color-coded helps. Color-coded. And also, like, if you can have it like a Chutes and Ladders type of deal, to see how everybody's kind of interconnected, because your normal family tree isn't going to work in this situation.
Your family tree is Chutes and Ladders. Rankin, Mississippi. That makes sense.
It is! It's so... You can't make it up! You
See,
really
what
can't.
happened was...
Oh my god, it could explain what happened, but it would take so darn long, and you'd have to watch the video 6 times just trying to make sense of it. And I'm sure I'm going to leave out pieces. I could try, though. Lauren says, if I had a power, I'd fly through electricity. That's amazing.
Ooh, that's a unique one. That's cool.
Ooh, I like that.
That's unique.
Electricity and I have an interesting dynamic. I get shocked by running water. I'm very sensitive to electricity. Like, I can't wear a watch.
It's weird. It's the darndest thing I ever saw.
I know.
Like, drain batteries. Like, it's nuts. I mean, I know electricity pretty well. I work with wiring a lot. You know, I just don't understand.
I can't, like, I'll go to, like, wash my hands or, like, go take a drinking fountain, and, like, for whatever reason, the static electricity charge from, like, just the metal will zap me. I get burned. Like, for a while, in, like, winter months, I don't go shopping, like, in places that have linoleum tile, because you can see the arc from when they go to reach for something on a metal shelf. So, but that's cool. I would love that. It's gotten, I think, better over the years. I don't know. Kira says, how did you guys meet?
Pizza guy.
He was the pizza guy.
Yeah.
He delivered a pizza to my door, and I fell in love.
I did a good job.
You did a good job.
I did a good
You
job.
did a good
She tipped me $5.
I think I had done that prior, and then I think I tipped you another $5. I wanted you to call me.
You didn't. I remember.
Oh, still.
But you wrote it in. It was nice. You wrote in $5.
Did I?
You did. It was a blank, but you wrote in $5.
I should have written you more. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. You gave me your website. She gave me her website because it was like...
So here's what happened is I ordered a pizza. He was working for Papa John's at the time. This is about 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago. And he delivered a pizza to my door, and I walked outside and I saw this mug, and literally it was like walking into a brick wall. I stood outside on the porch and tried to clumsily give him every piece of discerning information that I could have that I felt the stalker may or may not need to find me on Facebook.
I found her.
You actually waited in my driveway.
I stalked.
As he stalked me.
I stalked.
In my driveway. Didn't even wait to get back to the store.
I'm ashamed.
Nope. And that's okay.
I'm married now.
Yes. So yeah. That's literally how we met.
No, it was awkward because it
was
was like the first nice day of the year. It was early spring, like in April, or I believe, right? And Saturday, like 11 a.m. It's like just before lunch rush. Really gross pizza.
Was not.
A pineapple on Alfredo sauce
6 cheese
pizza, which I actually like now. By the way, it's actually good.
It's the perfect
but at
blend
the time,
of savory and amazing. In my world, anyway. I'm just saying for me.
I understand. In any case, it came to me. I had seen this particular order pop up like weeks in a row. You know, it was a regular customer who was ordering this weird freaking pizza. I remember it because no one else orders it. And
different, not weird.
Yeah. But I got to go up there. It was my turn to do the delivery, and I went up there thinking nothing because it's delivery for a pizza place. But then I opened the door, and look, I won't touch.
Thank
But
you.
look.
Learning every day.
Learning every day. Well, she came out, and I don't think I was very attractive that day. I'm pretty sure I hadn't shaved in a while.
It was fine. You looked great.
Hey.
Emma says super
How
proud.
you doing?
Kira says that's adorable. Emma, you're so sweet. I really like you. Chuck says, what was his pickup line? It wasn't.
My pickup line
was
well, here's what it was. It's nice weather we're having today, isn't it?
There's no way
You know
I'm
what she
registering
said?
that as...
You know what she said back? I wouldn't know, because I've been painting all day. I remember the dialogue.
Do you?
To which I replied, is that so?
Do you notice how I plant information?
And so she said, oh really? What medium? I said, watercolors. Wow, me too. And thus, the relationship was born. I'm very smooth.
It was so awkward.
I talk about the weather.
Yeah.
And that ended up.
And it was really cute. It was really cute though, because when we went out to go, we went out the next day and we went to Starbucks, because that's where you go when you date the pizza guy. And but we started talking about like Sanskrit and cuneiform and like different forms of ancient writing and
Native American history and environmental issues and invasive species.
Right. And then so it became very apparent very quickly that we were just the right amount of quirky.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not able to talk to anyone about this without their eyes glazing over.
Yeah.
You seem interested. That's great.
It was really cute. It was really sweet because he actually was very nervous, so he had written out about 25 questions or something and had a little card of all these questions that he was going to.
I'm an introvert and I'm terrible at I'm not.
It was a really good plan. I really liked it.
Little reminder things.
It's
that
really
way
cute.
I could use the bathroom and consult my little card. Okay, I'm gonna ask about hobbies next. And then, execute that plan.
In case anybody's wondering, this is absolutely how Lars is. All the time. It's a lot of fun.
Am I acting weird?
No, not at all. I just want to make sure that I fully illustrate that this is you. Laura says, I'd stop all electronics week out of every month. I'd stop all electronics week out of... I don't understand that one. How do I read it? I'd stop all electronics week out of every month.
1 week out of every month, she stops all electronics. Is that what I'm reading?
Oh my gosh!
Like you do like a no electronics ban like once 1 week a month.
Trix is very smooth.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Business idea: first date flashcards. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I would love first date flashcards because at least that way, and the tagline to that is first date flashcards. Get to know one another while still keeping your crazy just a little tucked under the rug.
Yeah, just give them your crazy in little doses.
Incrementals.
Yeah. No,
incremental doses.
Yeah, real incremental. You don't want the full weight.
It never turns
not
out
the full
incremental.
weight too soon. They're like, oh
it's
God.
so funny.
Baggage. I'm like, yeah, a little bit.
Everybody's got something.
Everyone's got baggage.
Funny.
You got baggage too.
So with her power, she would stop electronics week out of every month. Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, with your the electronics power. Right.
Ooh, to shut things down. Interesting.
I wrote a book years ago about how all electricity on Earth failed permanently and irrevocably, and how if one
we'd have to find
family,
other energy sources.
They had to struggle to stay alive by canoeing down the Mississippi from St. Louis in order to find warmer land down south. They found an island in the Gulf of Mexico eventually, and it was nice. Terrible book. Don't buy it.
How big is the island?
Well, it's actually the Florida Keys. They were caught in a hurricane. See, they went out through Louisiana, hugging the coast for a little bit. Hurricane came. They got all split up and everything. It was nuts. Spoiler alert. And then they washed up on an island, and it's like, ooh, it's the Florida Keys. That's nice. But they kind of formed their own independent communities. They blew up bridges so that people couldn't, drive over the bridges.
Yeah, but the Keys aren't very big. There's not enough food on those islands.
No, but that's why they're working as teams there. It's a fishing community. They're also working on taming the miniature deer that actually live on the island because they do live there. So they're making pens where they breed them. They go fishing.
know key deer.
Right.
Speed kills key deer. For everybody who's been in the Keys, you know exactly which sign I'm talking about.
They're adorable.
They are adorable. They're tiny little key deer. But speed kills them, and they tell you about it all in the Florida Keys. They got signs everywhere. Speed kills key deer. Melissa says I would have the power to fix anything, not like magic, but the knowledge and ability. Ooh. That is good. Who else has superpowers? Let's hear, I want to hear those. That's downloading. That's like downloading from all human consciousness. Is the ability to, that's Google. You have Google and you've got to, that's what I think that happens. Okay, so we were discussing this the other day. Thank you so much for saying something, Melissa. I'm like, I bet when I pass over, I'm going to get my own Google bar and I'm just going to be able to Google everything and it's all going to be accurate.
Omnipotus.
That's
what I'll call
that's
you.
Glorianimus. That is like my ultimate, just the answers to
Omnipotia.
everything. But the answers to everything is both is and isn't. Isn't it?
Yeah.
And isn't.
Usually is.
I want to hear everybody's superpower. Do you guys like Game of Thrones? I haven't really watched it. I found that to be, I kind of little got into it, but I found it to be just a little harsh for me. Personally,
I never watched
like,
a single episode.
I'm kind of like, I don't know. Let him be fine, honey. It's fine.
Yeah, but he's chewing so loud.
I know, but he's also stimming. So, how come I can't see anyone else typing but me? Says Lorna. Lorna, I will tell you, it's Facebook. It's the platform. I'm having to keep going back out and coming back in.
Yeah, we gotta refresh it all the time, and then there's new
I will
comments
tell,
we
and again,
missed.
like I want to tell everybody, I'm reading everything that I'm seeing. So if you guys are saying something and I'm not reading it, I'm not seeing it, and I don't like it because I feel like Facebook does it to like the people who show up the most. And the people who interact the most, I feel like they suppress their stuff the most, and I can't stand that crap because it doesn't, you don't get to choose Facebook.
Yep.
Inequality really grinds my gears. 91 comments! I have not done 91 comments!
Strong sense of justice.
Shirley says, yes, it's Facebook is doing that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. We have been on for, like, I think an
I want to
hour or a
hear
little over.
superpowers.
Well, do you have the superpowers? Tell us these.
What would your superpower be? I think, well, first of all, I would like to fly. I would like telekinesis and... what the heck, I'll own the Banshee thing.
I have a couple of superpowers. Number one, I have Finder-Outer superpowers.
The Finder Outer, yeah.
I'm really good at figuring
Oh,
stuff out
I
and
meant
solving
just-
mysteries. Really.
You are?
Oh, yeah. Like, insane. That's like what I do. It's my thing. Obviously. I'm a historian. That's what I do.
I know, but you need my help so much of the time.
Only with present day things.
No, it's not true. He actually looks at like he'll bring me pictures of like indigenous peoples representative, and they're like, we don't know what this means. I'm like, well, that's where you put the fish. Oh, we don't understand what the significance of these tattoos are. Those are water lines. If your food is coming from the river, wouldn't you want to know exactly where the water line is? And isn't that your prestige? They're tattooing water lines on them, and that's why they look like waves, and they're only at certain levels where they're waiting.
But what I mean to say is, remember, for example, finding your tribe. She's 5% Native American, and, you know, we didn't know the exact tribe or whatever, you know, it was somewhere in the Southwest, but, you know.
Should I say mine would be to fly and read minds.
What was it, like 15 minutes later, I'm like, I got your tribe, baby. Pueblo.
Yeah, no, you are very good when it comes to genealogy. You are excellent at it.
You give me the factors, I will find out the rest of the
Ancestry,
information.
you are so very good at it. You really, really are. Fly and read minds for absolute certain. You guys have to watch Last Man on Earth. We have watched that. We actually.
I love that.
Oh my gosh, Lori, it's so funny you say that. So,
Phil.
Phil.
If a character's name is or could be Phil in any show, I'm probably going to relate heavily to that character because that character is probably going to be portrayed as having a heavy case of ADHD.
Yes, super nice, able to forgive.
Goofy, plays around a lot.
Yep.
Think about it. Think of any Phil in
Phil
any
Dunphy,
TV show.
Philip J. Fry.
Yep.
Last Man on Earth. Yes, absolute Phil.
Yep. Like I may change my middle name to Phil.
If you ever go missing, I'm looking for Phil.
Yeah. No, it is hilarious.
It is so funny. Thank you, Shirley.
Yeah.
So, but it is running late. We do have to get set up for tomorrow, and I'm sure that everybody needs to get their rest for tonight. So thank you so much. I feel like this was just the best ever, and honestly, it was because of everybody that showed up. And I'm so sorry that it says 99 comments. Plays with balls. Is he doing that right now on Last Man on Earth? Because we have to catch up on that show. We have a whole year that we have missed. And
the first season was so good, though. It's like,
I know.
Is it still good? I want to make sure it's still good.
We can just watch it from the beginning and just decide for ourselves and just have the experience of it because we want to watch it anyway.
Let's do that.
But I do want to say thank you to everybody who came on tonight and who hung out with us. I feel like this was honestly just a highly productive live.
Yeah.
I think we had some really great discussions. I liked everybody's comments, and Patrick is helping.
You say goodbye by shaking you. You feel the earthquake, the dog.
If you have any more questions, or if you want to share your superpowers, real or imaginary, wishful or not, by all means, pop them in the comments. We love to hear about them. We love to read them. I may not see all the comments here on Facebook Live, and for that I truly apologize. I read every single one that I saw, and except for one LOL, and now I just said it. But I did see that there was plenty of comments that I don't think that we saw. So for anybody who I didn't get to read your comments online, I apologize. They were being filtered. It's something that Facebook does, and I'm unsure why they do that. But we do read them all.
Yep, we read everything afterwards, just to make sure and respond to some people that we missed or whatnot. So you will get.
We definitely are getting better at being caught up in reading every single comments because we do believe that everybody deserves to be heard. And we appreciate everybody's comments and everybody's feedback. So thank you so much. Y'all have a great night. Honestly, thank you for just making our day so much more special and for being a part of our lives and a part of our journey. I don't know what else to say. That's okay. I don't know what else to say, and I guess that's okay.
Adios, mis amigos. Stay thirsty, my friends. No.
You can't do that one.
No, I
but
can't do that one, no.
We'll be back on live tomorrow. I'm going to paint it again at 11 o'clock, and hopefully it will be the bubble painting this time for sure. So we will see everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m. for painting, and then again at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow evening for... Tomorrow's Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then on Friday we'll be on at noon. So if you have any questions or if there is anything else that we can answer for you, or if you want to know anything, by all means, ask away. We're happy to help. So thank you all again for coming on, and I'm going to check and refresh one last time to see if I have anything. Shalom, says Lorna. Shalom. Shirley says, you guys are awesome. Shiki says, Laura's nice shirt. Oh my gosh, do you know what this is from? It's the Woodstick Festival.
Gravity Falls?
Falls.
Anyone know what this is?
Best wife in the world.
Cartoons. We love our cartoons.
Laura says, have a blessed night tonight. Thank you, Laura.
You too.
Laura, you guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. Seriously, it makes everything. You make my day so much, just so bright. Melissa says, night kids, night, Melissa. Shiki says, love it. Thank you, Shiki. I love Gravity Falls. It's 2 seasons. Not really enough, but they wrapped it up with a really nice bow at the end. So you gotta love it for what it is. All right, guys. That's us for tonight. Have a great one, and dream your very best dreams no matter where you are. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Good night.